Hello, everybody, and welcome to One More Day. Now, in this episode, I was pondering what I should talk about, and I was like, maybe I will talk about some interesting, or I guess vivid nightmares that I've had, because I only have nightmares. I don't remember the last time I had a not nightmare, like an actual regular dream. Honestly, don't remember the last time that happened. But that got me to thinking about probably one of the most common nightmares I had as a child. And I'm going to cycle back to it, because if I explain it right now, it's not going to make a lot of sense. So, growing up, behind our house, there was just a vacant lot. Right, but it was still part of our land, I believe, because my dad, I guess they purchased our house, and then they purchased a shop next door, and I think the lot was part of that shop. Anyways, behind the house was that lot, and it was just full of foliage, and there was different, scrap metals, because there was the shop next door. There was a broken down bus. There was a broken down van. There was just a whole slew of randomness. But growing up, I loved it. I spent so much time going through those back areas. We had a green fence that kind of separated our yard from, we'll call it, the jungle. And I used to always say, I'm going to go play behind the green fence. Maybe I wasn't supposed to play behind the green fence, but I did it anyways. That seems more accurate. Because I was thinking, why was I allowed to play back there with tons of just rusty metal, trash, random nails and screws strewn around the ground? And I hate snakes, right? I've always hated snakes. But we grew up in the country, and that would have been the perfect place for snakes. But that thought never crossed my mind literally until today when I was thinking about it. But one of the most common dreams that I had as a child was that I would be playing in that jungle, and I'd be playing with my older sister, and I'd lose her, right? And all of a sudden it would just be me. But I knew that there was someone else in the jungle looking for me, and essentially hunting me down. And I would eventually find my way out, and they would emerge and chase me up our slide that we had, and then it'd end. And it's weird how many times I had that dream. Yeah, I still would I would spend all day back there. Me and my brother, we actually took, I don't even know what it was. It probably was a bullpen, now that I think about it. It was some sort of pen or something that was back there. And we turned it into a clubhouse. And we just made the clubhouse up out of trash. And it was awesome. But the thing is, I never got hurt. I got hurt once back there, but it didn't actually have to do with me playing back there. We kept one of our dogs back there as well. And one day I was either trying to get him to go on a walk or something. I don't remember. He was very uncooperative, and he actually pulled me into a piece of that fence, because it was it's not sheet metal. It's like a tin roof kind of stuff. It was that tin, but it was the fence made out of that, and part of it was hanging off, and it just slit a part where my eyebrow was, or is. I don't know why I said was. Not my eyebrows moved. And I realized, like, that could have just gone through my eye. But it didn't. But it hurt. I remember that it hurt very bad. Also, I totally could have, like, gotten many diseases. I could have gotten tetanus. But no, I'm pretty sure I just went inside and stuck a Band-Aid on it. And went back outside and played. Which is just baffling to me now. Because I'm kind of a baby. I think I've degraded. But that's a story for another time. We're going to talk about nightmares and some of my most memorable nightmares, so to speak. So one that I also had a lot when I was a child was I saw the original It TV miniseries because I begged my dad that I could like watch a scary movie and stuff over and over and over, and he's like, "Okay, are you sure you can handle it?" And I was like, "Yeah." And long story short, I couldn't. But I watched it, and then I slept downstairs. So I went downstairs, and then I remember he yelled down the stairs, "They all float down there!" And then he just shut the door, which he thought was hilarious. And as a child, I just remember just screaming, which I know that sounds kind of like abuse, but it wasn't. It was just a dad messing with his kid. Just putting that out there, because everyone's easily offended these days. So I remember having a lot of nightmares where it would start out really happy, and it'd be like Christmas time or whatever. And me and my siblings always decorated the tree together. And we'd be decorating the tree, and all of a sudden my siblings would all just stop and stare at the tree, and I had my back to the tree. And they would just like bow down to the tree, and I was like, what the heck? And it kind of turned into like a movie where I could see the front of myself, and I could see Pennywise's hand coming out from behind the tree to grab me, and then I'd wake up. That one stuck with me pretty strong. That one was freaking wild. Now, another one, because like I said, I've had a lot. I've had a lot of recurring nightmares. Another one I had was that I would get chased by someone in like a mechanic jumpsuit and a welding helmet. And I'd never seen Halloween, so I don't know where that one came from. I think my older brother may have scared me once in that outfit. Possibly. I don't know. As you get older, it is kind of hard to separate dreams from reality. But I remember I had a nightmare where, like, my older brother was babysitting me. And maybe this did really happen. I don't know. And I was being kind of a turd. I was always kind of a turd to him. But I was being kind of a turd. And then he chased me down on our four-wheeler. And I ran up one of our trees. And he just kept like running the four-wheeler into the tree. And so that probably didn't happen, but it might have. I really don't know. I can neither confirm nor deny that I got chased down by a four-wheeler. But I lived, so probably didn't get chased down once again. And then another interesting dream, so to speak. And this is actually one that I've been having really recently. And I'm going to count it as a nightmare because it causes a lot of distress. So I'll be back in school, right? But it won't be a discernible school. Because there'll be a commons area for like our high school, our middle school. Well, we also had a school called intermediate school, which was 6th and 7th grade. And then also our elementary school. And the bell will ring that it's like time for class. And I'll just be like, I have no idea what class I have now. But like, it won't be the first day of school. No, it'll be like halfway through the school year. So I know in this dream that I should know where I have to go, but I have no clue. And I try to be fairly easygoing. So throughout the dream, I'm just like, okay, whatever. Well, I'll find it eventually. And I just go from class to class, and then I sit in and I'm like, nope, this isn't the one. So then I get out and leave, and then sometimes the teachers get mad. And usually in these dreams, I'll find like the men's locker room, but it'll just be huge. And then a bunch of dudes will obviously like come in and start changing for gym, and I'll just be like, I'm pretty sure that I'm not supposed to be in here because I don't have another change of clothes. So I'll leave there, and sometimes it'll be like an Olympic-sized pool, but it'll kind of be in the dark, but the pool's illuminated. And I'm like, I wouldn't take swimming lessons. So then I'd leave. And then I'd go to like a theater class. Because I did take theater classes, and I really enjoyed them for the most part. Until I got to college and I took a theater class, and I really didn't like... The teacher kind of ruined it for me. Because I'm LDS, and she was very anti-LDS, and made us do a lot of plays and stuff that were just very anti-religion in general. Which is like, that's her prerogative, that's what she wants to do. But it was just kind of not really into that. Anyways, so I'll go into one of those, and it'll be like a high-end acting class, and they'll be like getting ready for an actual play to go off, or to start. Please don't go off, or do they? I guess it depends on what the play's about. I don't know, ponder on that. That's a good question. But I'll be in that class and I'll be like, I have no lines. I have no idea where I'm supposed to go. And then I just randomly put on a costume and I just kind of sit backstage. And then at one point, they're like waiting for a certain character to go up, and I'm like, well, that's not me. And then I just walk out. Like, not out on stage. I just walk out of the classroom. And still, I'm like trying to play it cool, but I'm like running all over the place because I'm stressed out that I'm like, oh crap, I'm missing my class. I don't know where I'm going. I should know, because that's one of the biggest things. I hate feeling like an idiot. I hate not grasping a subject or a concept, or not knowing something that I should know. So during this nightmare, like I said, I've been having this recently and quite often. So during this nightmare, I'm just like running all over the place, just like, okay, what class do I have right now? Because I know I have a class. I went to it yesterday, but what class was it? And I feel like I'm in an episode of like Blue's Clues. It's like, okay, what class were we in now? Find a clue. I need to get my thinking chair, my handy dandy notebook. And sometimes I'll just go back to my elementary school, and I'll sit in a class, and a bunch of kids will come in, and I'm like, yeah, pretty sure this is not where I'm supposed to be. So then I'll just go to another class, and it'll just go on like that all throughout the dream, and I'll never actually find the class I'm supposed to be in. And then eventually I'll wake up. But yeah, that's a really weird and really vivid one that I've been having quite recently. I don't know why. I graduated college, got nothing out of my college degree except debt. Would love to go back to college, but I don't even know what I'd go back for. So once I figure that out, maybe I will. So it doesn't have anything to really do with school in my real life. I feel like that's where dreams all stem from. So that one's weird. I know I've been having, or another, I guess, set of nightmares that I hate them going off, is I'll have nightmares where like Addie like goes away for a weekend or something, and she just comes back like a completely different person. Like, Addie's pretty mild-mannered. She's a really good person. She doesn't like do any drugs or smoke or drink or really even swear that much. I kind of accidentally, it's my fault that she does have a slip-up every now and then. That is on me. But she'll like come back and she'll be like high and drunk and like dressed all slutty, which as her husband, that part I'm like, oh, cool. Except for she was like out in public like that. And I know like some people be like, well, it's her body, she can dress as she wants, which is true, but that's very off the beat for her. So it kind of has more going on to the picture. And then I'll just wake up just like, what the frick is going on? But another one. And this one is probably my most stressful. Like, I wake up in like a cold sweat when I have these ones. Sorry, I'm playing with my desk. So I'll be essentially in Dead by Daylight, which, for those of you who aren't aware, it's an asymmetrical horror game, which means that there are 4 survivors and 1 killer. And the survivors have to go around a map and repair generators in order to leave, and the killer has to try to kill them before they can do that. And these survivors can hear the killer coming because there'll be like a terror radius is what it's called. It'll just be like a heartbeat. Like, it's progressively louder. Now, in the game, the killer can be Michael Myers. And he doesn't have a terror radius for the first part. So, in my dream, I will be in a house trying to find a way out, but will randomly run into Michael Myers, and he'll just chase me, and I'm always just slightly out of reach. Also, thinking about it, recently I've been having a lot of dreams like about ghosts, and like I'll go to somewhere haunted, and I love paranormal stuff. Like, I want to see an actual ghost, but at the same time I don't know if I would handle it because I'm kind of a big baby when it comes to ghosts. But in my dream, I see one, or I'll see something paranormal, and I'll just freeze. And I just won't be able to move, and I'll like be able to hear my own heartbeat, and it's just like pure fear courses through my body. That's another one that will wake me up. Like, I'll be awoken from that, and I'll just stay awake. And I'll like go play a game in the living room or something like that. That one messes with me. But I wish I could like share some good dreams with you guys, but I genuinely do not remember the last time I had a good dream. And all those nightmares also caused me to never really get like a relaxing night's sleep, and just caused me to like toss and turn all night and constantly wake up and go back to sleep and wake up and never really get into a super deep sleep. So I'm just tired all the time. So tired. But a good dream would be cool. That'd be neat. Maybe like a vivid one that I could like actually remember. Because maybe I have had a good dream, but I don't remember any. But from what I've read, the human brain actually holds on to negative memories more than positive memories, which is real silly. But regardless, I know this is another shorter episode. I'd like to save kind of the longer ones for when I've got Addie here. But she's had kind of a long day with Toby. He's kind of been on one. So she's asleep. It's only 7, but she was pretty knocked out, and I didn't want to wake her up. So thank you guys so much for joining us. And if you haven't already, make sure to check out Legends of Athoria, as well as What Is Us. What Is Us is on a little bit of a hiatus, and Legends of Athoria right now is currently on a mid-season break for a week or two. Essentially, so we can backlog some episodes and stuff like that. We had used all of our stock, I guess, our backlog, the last couple of weeks because we've been having a hard time getting everyone's schedules together. So we're building that back up while we're on this kind of mid-season break. But make sure to check those out. You can find all of those on anywhere you get your podcasts. And you can also just find them all if you go to www.sickdaystudios.com. That's SICKDAYSTUDIOS. And if you have a podcast that you would like to get onto the Sick Day Studios network, head to sickdaystudios.com. At the bottom there will be a button to contact us, and just let us know what you'd like, and we'll talk about how we can get it set up and affiliated and get all in there, because we'd like to get as many shows on here as we can. But thank you guys once again for joining me, and until next week.